Hi, my name is Nick Caruso. I'm not going to be doing some advanced training on using multiple OCR threads, but in an intelligent way so that some threads will be dedicated to processing small jobs, and some of these threads or tasks will be dedicated to processing large jobs. Because this is the scenario that I see a lot. I might be working with a very large deployment, could be hundreds of devices, thousands of users, and we may have 3 threads running, or we may have 10 threads running. What happens is you might get that one user or that one department that starts scanning really large jobs. So you'll get maybe 3 threads or more running, but they're all stuck processing these 100-page jobs. Meanwhile, you have someone who has a 2-page document and they're wondering why it's taking them 10 minutes or half an hour or even longer to get it. So let me give you an example. I'm going to open up my samples folder here, and I'd encourage you to go through the other 2 video training courses that I've put together. But if I right-click on here, I'd send to, convert to PDF, and this is a small job. So you'll see here, it should get dumped in here pretty quickly, and then pulled back out as a thread picks it up. So here's another one. It'll be picked in here, automatically picked up by another one of those threads. And we'll do this one, and you'll see it gets picked up in here again, automatically. Should be picked up in a second, and then processed. So all these jobs are being processed, and now I only have 3 threads, but let me process another one in here, send to, and you'll see again it gets picked up very quickly, and then it starts to be processed. Now I have an 18-page document, so when I put it in here, you'll see it'll get picked up. And it's in one of those threads right now, and I'll process another 18-page document, and now that's in, probably it'll be picked up by thread number 2 here in just a second. And now I have another 18-page document. This will be picked up probably by that 3rd thread. But now if I start sending these small jobs in, you're going to see they're going to start queuing up, because those 18-page documents are being processed. So this is not good, even though I have 3 threads running at the same time. So what I'm going to do here is I don't want to have just a general queue where I have multiple threads being watched and multiple threads being processed. What I want to do is I want to create an intelligent workflow that's going to have a dedicated location just for the smaller jobs that are less than 10 pages, and they'll have dedicated threads for that, and then another location to pick up the large jobs. So let's go ahead and create those 2 folders right now. So we're going to have a large job and a small job. And so the large jobs, why don't we do this? So we'll maybe do an underscore so it'll sort nicely. So we're going to have, so what I want here is I'm going to go back to my configuration. I want to have maybe one of these just dedicated to large jobs and maybe 2 dedicated to small jobs. So let's call this one small, and let's call these 2 large. Or I should say, this one will be small too, and this one will be large. Now simply labeling it isn't going to really do anything. What I need to do is tell it what folder to go to. So this one will watch my small job folder. Just copy that. Same with this one. And this one will watch my large job folder. Alright, so now I have these dedicated to watch these folders. Now the question is, how can I conditionally put my knowledge package file into the applicable folder, so it goes into the large job if it's more than 10 pages and into the small job if it's less than 10 pages. So what I'm going to do here is, so I'm going to be using an RRT to basically conditionally state what folder to go into. So I'm going to use a new component here called data filter. It's new with AutoStore 6. And I'm going to save my configuration. I'll do it version 2 now, it's more advanced. So in my workflow here, I'm going to detect the number of pages. If it's small, it goes to small. If it's less than 10, it'll go to small. If it's greater than 10, it'll go to that large queue. Most capture components have an RRT for the number of pages. Auto capture does not, but I can use another component to detect how many pages are in my document, and that's professional image management. So that's a component that we can use to clean up an image, despeckle, deskew, even remove some pages. But just turning it on allows us to detect the number of pages in this document. So I'm going to click on Activate. Click on that data filter, click Yes. Click Add. There's a lot of data manipulations that you can do. One of them is called Match Regular Expression. So I'm going to create a new RRT that's going to tell me OCR folder, what folder to go into. And I'm going to try and match against the regular expression. So if something is less than 10 pages, it's going to go to my small job. My RRT will be called small job if this regular expression matches correctly. If it doesn't, it's going to go to my large job queue. So you have to know regular expressions. So what I want to do is I want to analyze my page count, and I want to build a regular expression that says, is this less than 10? If it is, this RRT will be called small job. If it's greater than 10, my resulting RRT will be called large job. We'll have the large job value in it. So I'm going to click on Test here, and I'm going to build my regular expression profile. So let's experiment with this. If you need to know regular expressions. If you don't, there's plenty of web help out there. But basically, I'm going to say one digit repeated one time. So a digit, a numeric, repeated one time. And if I hit match, that matches correctly. You got to be careful because maybe it's 122 pages. Hit match, it'll say match correctly because that's one digit right there. So what I'm going to say is that the entirety of this line has to only be one digit. And so using the caret and the dollar symbol means the entirety of this line has to match this regular expression, which means this one digit. So that's going to be no matches found. And if I just do that, that's going to be one match found. So this is the regular expression I want. And I should be good now. So I'm going to click OK. OK. And in my send to folder destination now, I'm going to change it so that my subfolder will now be this new RRT called OCR folder. So if I now click OK through all my workflow prompts and then save my configuration. Right, so before we do a test, I just realized I made a mistake. The knowledge package builder should be at the end of the workflow. So if I just delete that and add it back in, it should save all my settings. So I'm going to do that. So professional image management, then the data filter to determine what location to go to, then my knowledge package builder, and then the temporary shareware to put it into. Let me just make sure those settings were saved in my knowledge package builder. As I moved it around, yep, that all looks good. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start this configuration. And I now have 2 small threads and 1 large thread. So I'm going to take my, let's see how this works. I'm going to take my large job, and if I'm going to use the status monitor here on the right, or excuse me, on the left, so we can see the jobs and the prioritization of those jobs as they come in. So I'm in the large directory. So if I right-click on here, hit Send to, Convert to PDF, type in any sort of PO number. It's coming in here. It's going through data filter. I'm going to pause this for a second. You can see it's in the large queue, and that's where it went, and it's being processed right now in that large queue folder. Now if I take the small job, convert to PDF, well, let's do another large job. Send to, type in a value. Yeah, and it also went to that large folder. And another large job. And another large job. So I'm processing some of these large jobs in here. You can see they're being queued up in here. But if I go into my small queue right now, there's nothing for these to be holding these jobs back from being processed. So if I go in here and I take a look at it, you'll see it hit my small queue and ready to be picked up and processed. And if I do another one, you can see it'll go into the small queue. So I've intelligently separated 2 queues for the small jobs and 1 queue for the large job, and you can have medium queues. You can even have large jobs or really large jobs and queue those to only being run after hours. So there's lots of different permutations of this configuration. One thing you have to know when you're testing this is that I'm running right now AutoStore under an NFR, a non-for-resale license. Not NFRs as well as evals as well as normal licenses only come licensed with one OCR engine. So what I'm showing you here is a reasonably good test, and I'm showing you how I'm differentiating to the different queues. But in reality, it's only OCRing once at a time. So even though these are 3 different threads, due to licensing restrictions around the NFRs, you're not going to see it running simultaneously. So it's right now processing one of those large jobs, but if I put a small job in here, you'll see it's not actually going to be picked up right away. Or I should say it'll be picked up, it just won't actually start. So let's see what queue the small jobs went into. You can see here it picked it up, but it's not actually going to start processing the pages until this job is done or it's gotten some CPU time to pick it up. So as we go through here, pages 16, we can wait in here and see. Let's do another one of these just to queue it up. 18, and this one should now get active now that it's got the licensing to process. And there it is. So it went through the workflow and processed those documents. All right, so hopefully this has been helpful. Again, my name is Nick Caruso, and feel free to contact me at nick.caruso@nsius.com. Thanks.